What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Thursday. It's March 31st, last day of March, last day of the quarter. That impacts you in any way. 2022. My name is Jeremy. This is my first cup. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Dennis. And to all the rest of you, whether you're watching live later or listening, thanks for joining me here for First Cup. How are you? How was your Wednesday? What's going on for your Thursday? I'll be honest. Yesterday was not as productive as I wanted it to be. I kept hitting these false starts. You ever have those days where it's like, all right, I'm going to get going on this, and you realize like, oh, I'm missing this piece, or oh, so and so was going to get back to me on that thing that I asked about, and they didn't. I had a bunch of those. I still got stuff done. It wasn't what I wanted it to be. Went to the bank. That was probably the most productive thing I did. I did not work out yesterday. I didn't do anything physical. I wanted to go for a walk and it just didn't happen because I didn't have the motivation. Some days I just don't have the motivation. Cooked a lot. Lately I've just been cooking very good, simple food. It's probably the biggest accomplishment I made yesterday. When I worked out on Tuesday, probably went a little bit too hard on my back and my mid back tightened up. This happens periodically. It's usually from doing shrugs, but my mid back tightened up and ended up with a migraine, and it's still there a little bit. And I suffered through it till probably 2, 3 o'clock, trying to stretch it out, and then took an aspirin and ibuprofen, and it was gone until I woke up this morning. Now it's almost gone, still tight around my neck. I'll probably see how I feel around lunchtime. Probably take more of the same. I don't like taking NSAIDs. I don't like taking anything like that. But it is better than having a headache. Oh, look, we have like a spammy person. Lovely. Morning, Liz. Morning, Ray and Stacy and Jenny. Jenny says Wednesday was a very productive day for me. Last night, sadly, was not productive for sleep. The toddler developed her first stuffy nose. Oh no. Yes, we made it more than a year and a half before getting the stuffy nose. Well, that seems like a pretty good accomplishment. I'm sorry you didn't sleep well. Today's tea is a detox tea because why not? Eating as clean as I am, let's get rid of all the junk I can. I feel pretty good. It's weird not having any caffeine. And it's weird eating as clean as I am because I don't, it's interesting. You've probably heard, that you're not supposed to feel tired after you eat. I often do after lunch. I don't the way I'm eating right now. It was yesterday. Rice and turkey and eggs and pineapple, onion, jalapeno. An apple. Like just an orange, just like the simplest food. So good. Avocado. If you ever want to do something interesting, cook up some rice and then mash pretty much anything in with it. Yesterday I did an avocado. Just take a really ripe avocado and smash it up and mix it in with the rice and smash it up with the rice. It's good. Give it a shot. It's probably the genesis for sticky rice or any of the dessert rice dishes that exist. Yeah. Oh, what do we have? We have this and lots of rice. Well, let's put this in with the rice. Hey, that's pretty good. Rice is kind of like bread, just it's a good vehicle for whatever flavor you're trying to get. Stacy says, I'm guessing that right now on the super clean kick, meds hit hard. Yeah, I only took one aspirin and one ibuprofen, and it went the duration. It went, a solid 8-9 hours, and my headache was gone very quickly. It's amazing when your body isn't fighting through stuff. And I eat a pretty clean diet anyway. I think it's why it's valuable for people to do stuff like this from time to time. It doesn't mean you're going to always eat like this, but to do it once in a while and feel what it's like and say, oh, okay. Because then you have choice. I can choose to eat this way, knowing that it's going to have these impacts. If it's not choice, if it doesn't feel like choice, it doesn't feel powerful. When it's choice, there's a power. There's a power in choice. So I had two meetings yesterday. One with a new client, which I'm super excited about, and the other with someone who is coming on as kind of a background member of Team Whistlekick. And I'm going to be really honest, could be the final missing piece. I've been looking for someone, for literally for years, to help deal with a bunch of the little website stuff. If you look, I get emails all the time from people on the team, from customers. Hey, we've got automated systems set up in the background. Hey, there's a broken link here. There's a this here. There's a that there. Things that individually take almost no time. They're so close to not even being worthwhile, and they build up. But they're not the most pressing things. Well, I now have somebody I can offload those to, and I am so happy. Because fixing all those things is going to give a better experience to people. It's going to allow us to make these iterative steps forward on our various websites. It's going to our search rank is going to improve. There's so much good stuff there. Jenny says NSAIDs mess with my digestive system. If I take them, it's usually my last resort. Yeah, there's a lot. There are a lot of people who have that experience. I also had a few random Tramiel pills in the box, and I took one of those too. Jenny, if you don't know about Tramiel, you might want to check it out because it's from what my doctor had told me when she gave me some. That's why she was a big fan of it. It didn't have the liver distress, and you might look at it. It's an anti-inflammatory. I was going to take some curcumin, but I know that any turmeric curcumin makes my sweat smell funny, and I'm going to be on this retreat in close quarters with some people this weekend. And the last thing I want anybody smelling is my turmeric sweat. Oh, it's gross. It smells like I'm baked in curry. It is not pleasant. Oh, she says, I do know about Tramiel. I'm currently out. Ha. There you go. So what are you guys doing today? What's going on? What are you up to? Are you doing anything fun? Are you perhaps checking out today's episode of Martial Arts Radio? Which I'm going to triple check, double check. We're really just double checking my memory. But if it's the episode, I think it is. Yep. So the episode, and I'm going to apologize. I don't remember which one of you it was, but this came from a question posted here. We talked about it a little bit, and I said, Andrew, I want to talk about this more. How do you know if your self-defense training is effective? I think I know who it was, but I'm not confident enough that I'm gonna guess. Okay. So one of you out there said, ask this question, and I answered it briefly. Well, we did a whole episode about it, and Andrew and I talked about it. We really broke it down, and I think it came out really well. So that's available on YouTube. It's available in your podcast feed. I hope you check it out and let me know. Let me know what you think. And did we miss anything? I always like to know if we missed stuff. People very rarely tell us we missed stuff, which means either they don't care, I don't think it's that, or we do a good job. I think it's that. Take care, Andy. I think Andy's saying it's his birthday. He's going to be 61 today. Well, happy birthday. Nice. Kelly says, ugh, smelly pits. Did self-defense demo with some preteen and teenage boys. I should attack them with deodorant first. That's funny. And Stacy says, you're safe unless you're in a pine tree attacking me. I don't like the smell of curry sweat. I remember back in college, there was a guy who, there's a bird out there. There was a guy who tried the karate program I was in college, and he smelled like curry. And I like always. And I was like, hey, do you have curry for dinner? And he's like, no. I was like, oh. It was just his sweat smelled like curry. And it wasn't like it was just curry. There was like a BO element to it too. And I was like, this is kind of icky. This is gross. I don't like this at all. What else going on today? I got some more client work, the stuff I didn't do yesterday. Uh, bunch of other stuff, little stuff. Did not go to Taekwondo because of my headache, which bummed me out. But if I'm going to go train for a few hours, kind of don't want my brain to hurt. Um, Assuming I feel better later. There's a networking event, a mixer at the local Chamber of Commerce that I'll probably go to. I haven't seen most of these people in a long time. I go to these things more for fun than anything else. It's so rare I pick up a client at something like this. I used to, when I had the IT company, I picked up clients all the time. But now with the consulting work that I do, I mean, there aren't going to be any martial artists there. If there are, I already know them. And if they wanted me to work with them, they would. But on the other side of things, with the other work, meh. With the new client yesterday, I'll probably just let things ride for a little bit. You know, it's funny. For whatever reason, the more I focus on trying to bring in clients, the less I bring in clients. It's really weird. I can help other people bring in clients. I can do the same things for myself, and it never quite works. It's odd. Oh, Andy says it's going to be 61 weather today. I didn't think you were that old. He never struck. I was my first thought was, wow, he's aged really well. Tommy says, BO of any type can be tough to train next to. However, heavy perfume for me is worse. Instant headache. We had a kid, what was this, sophomore year of high school, who really stunk. Like would kill the room. And nobody did anything about it. I would come in and I would open the window. I hate the smell of BO. I would open the window. The teacher had room spray. I would spray it all over the place. People would complain. I don't like this. I don't care. I am not sitting in this room for 60 minutes, 80 minutes, whatever we did. 80 minutes. We had block periods. I'm not sitting here for close to an hour and a half smelling body odor because I'm not going to be able to focus. Your inability to handle some, artificial rose scent, I don't care. We got heated over how to handle this, but that's why I sat in the back next to the open window all winter long in that room because I couldn't deal. And it's important for you to know I was not someone who spoke up much in high school, especially sophomore year. I was on the quieter side. And for me to do that, that's how much it bothered me. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Jenny agrees with me. Artificial rose scent is better than BO. Pretty much anything is better than BO. I just, you ever had times where, maybe you're working out and you're like, oh, that's me. And then you're actually more revolted because your own stink smells that badly to you because it's likely worse to other people. And then you've offended yourself. Yeah. Stacy says, just as an aside, as someone who has been challenged by odors, both personally and perfume, remember some medical issues affect BO badly, and some of us are sensitive. And she's spelling sensitive, SCENT, sensitive. Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. It is not a cut and dry thing, but there are There are many, many things that are natural and not terrible for you that can mask body odor, or even better, absorb body odor. There's plenty of charcoal based deodorant. There are things like that. There are charcoal based body washes. There are many things that can be used. And this is not a judgment. I'm just, we've got to figure it out for ourselves, for the sake of others. Social contract. All right. So Frank gave us some stuff to talk about. It's still Nutrition Month, and these are going to be short. What have you already planted in your garden? Nothing, because it's March. It's March, and it's Vermont, and we can't plant things for almost 2 more months. Seriously. Our last frost is predicted to be somewhere around mid-May. Most people don't plant anything until Memorial Day weekend. The one time I really planted a bunch of stuff before, everything, all the weather said it was going to be fine. It was not fine. I lost everything. So, depending on how many plants grow and grow healthy, I may put some things out ahead of time if the weather looks good. You know, I'll split it and that way have backups in case they don't work out well. And then, I don't know, just put the extras out for people if they want them. I bought eggs from my neighbor on the way home. $3 a dozen for fresh eggs from a place that I'm walking around, that I'm seeing the chickens walking around at the end of my road. I was pumped. I bought 2 dozen for $6. Eggs at the store right now are, well, if they've got the junky ones, like the low end ones, sometimes they're on sale for $1 or $2 a dozen, but the good ones are 5 or 6. I've seen them as high as $7 a dozen. No thanks. And it's $4 for 18. I don't think these guys are making any money. I don't know how they're doing it, but cool. I'll take it. I will eat all of your eggs at that price. The first things that get planted the week before I plant the things that I'm growing in here, I can start direct seeding, and that's when I'm putting out things like root vegetables, beets, carrots, turnip, rutabaga, parsnip, turnip, and greens, kale, arugula. I don't bother with lettuce. Lettuce doesn't do well for me. Any other greens? No. Much of April and really early May is going to be spent getting garden beds ready because I'm planning into beds this year. I'm planning into raised beds this year, not on the ground. What food are you most looking forward to growing this year? Probably the squashes because they did okay last year and I've got a new plan. You ever have a squash plant grow really well in your compost, seemingly for no reason? Yeah. I'm going to plant a couple beds with the compost that's been aging over the last couple of years, and those are going to be my squash beds. Why not? If it grows that well, let's just lean into it. You got something that works, do more. I've got a bunch of squashes. Pumpkins, spaghetti squash. I've got seeds from a spaghetti squash that a friend gave me that grew well in her compost in Maine. It took over. Like this one plant, I think produced close to 20 spaghetti squash. It took over the whole garden. You got the random spaghetti squash plant in the compost, and it probably produced almost as much food as the rest of the garden that she tried for. I don't think there's a better return on space and time and nutrient than squash. Squash goes crazy. And I'll plant other squashes, summer squash, zucchini, pumpkins. I don't think I'm trying watermelon. Watermelon and I just struggle to get along. I think there are a few others that might be in there. Most of what I'm planting is from seeds I've saved. And then what foods have you found to be easiest to grow? Arugula grows really well for me, both inside and outside. Kale grows well for me. Most of what I've done up until the last few years was perennials. My blueberries, my apples, pears, raspberries, blackberries, asparagus, Jerusalem artichoke, grapes, chestnuts. No, hazelnuts. What else? I'm kind of doing a walk around the property. Um, I think those are it. Yeah, plenty of stuff to grow. And what did you guys say about that? I think that grow, even if it's not everything, even if you can't replace all of your own food with what you grow in the garden, even having a few things that you can grow and go from plant to mouth quickly, I think is valuable. It's not just valuable for it's fun or potentially saves money off the gardening. It doesn't save money, uh, but it's healthy. It's healthy to eat live food. By the time you buy food in the grocery store, it's dead. It's been dead for a long time. To pick a tomato off a plant and brush it off and eat it, that's incredible. It tastes better. If you've ever had potatoes that you've grown, white potatoes, it's a whole different experience. And quite a few things out of the garden are. Jenny said, fresh eggs are so amazing. Absolutely. Stacy asks, what have you planted and are doing seeds for already? Cabbage, peppers, eggplant. Those are the only things that take so long that I needed to do that. I'm still feeling like they're probably going to be, because of the greenhouse, they're going to be way overgrown. The eggplants last year, the irony was the eggplants did nothing for me, but they were the fastest growing things I had, and it's the same seed. So fingers crossed. What did I do? 9 of those? 7 of those? Those will probably get their own bed. Kelly says, I get eggs from a student. I got some of those eggs from that student too when I came in January. They were amazing. Stacy adds on, it's valuable for so many things, even to just run your hands and feet in the dirt. When I had a garden, it was barefoot time. So there are some kind of early edge studies around depression and working in dirt. And the working theory, and I think it might even be a little bit past that, but the theory is that there are bacteria in soil that impact our mood, and that by being in dirt, we end up with some of them on our skin, right? Because remember, there's bacteria on your skin. There's a microbiome on your skin, and those bacteria being on there can have a contribution. This is why you see so many people who just like they don't even really grow anything. I just like digging in the garden. I just like being in the dirt. Over the course of however many years, they've correlated, hey, when I do this, I feel better. I'm one of those people. I love being out there. I really do. Through the summer, like I don't plan much travel through the summer because I spend my weekends and even sometimes evenings working in the garden. There's a lot going on here, and I keep trying to do more. And the more I do, the happier I am with it. Jenny says, I would love to do this in my garden, but since I grow my food in pots on my apartment balcony, it doesn't end well. Well, you could set out like a tray and just put your feet in it. And I know that's ridiculous, but it doesn't mean it's not worth doing. Kelly says, I love working in my flower bed. It's not such a big veggie garden in bare feet. Awesome. All right. Now, I asked you guys a kind of a silly question, but I thought it would get some responses, and it did. Do you brush your top teeth or bottom teeth first? I think most people are so automatic on so many things in their life that they don't even notice. And there were people who said, I didn't even notice, and that's okay. But I want you to notice. Try mixing it up. Are you able to handle that? Right? I don't know. Give it a shot. Let's see what people said. Dennis says, I've never given it much thought, but turns out bottom. Who knew? Chris says, bottom first. More room for the foam that way. Jason says, funny story. I've apparently become a mouth breather when I sleep, so I smile and start right in the center on the outside to brush the film off. Then I usually start with top right quadrant. Little known dental fact. Your baby teeth are identified by letters and adult teeth by numbers. If you go to your dentist and tell them that number 19 is giving you trouble, they will know what you were talking about. Oh, I did not know that. That's cool. Ray says top down. My thought is any crud on the top will end up on the bottom, so cleaning the bottom last gets rid of any particles. And Mark says brush? Question mark. I have some views on dental health that are a bit counter to the mainstream. And they can be summarized by one fact. Animals don't brush their teeth. And I'll let you connect any dots that you so choose from that statement. I do brush my teeth. I actually have a pretty exhaustive oral health care plan. Routine. There we go. I brush my teeth 3 times a day. I use 2 different brushes. I rinse with 2 different mouthwashes. I use mouthwash when I first wake up. I've only had 1 cavity, and it's because of the crown. I got pretty good teeth. Thanks to my mom, who encouraged me to drink a lot of milk as a kid. That's probably why. That, and she didn't give me much junk food. Tommy says my teeth are soaked overnight. Well, it's really hard to get a cavity when you're doing that. There you go. And Jenny says, Tommy, you win. Looking at the birds running around out there, pulling worms and doing their thing. Pulled more sap off the trees, boiled more last night. There's gonna be a lot of maple syrup this year. I'm excited. All right. I think we're done. I think we are done. Thanks for coming by. I hope you have a great day. Hope to see you tomorrow for Friday. I'm sure Frank's got jokes in the works for us, which I always appreciate. I'm going to go do a bunch of work. Leave me some stuff to talk about. I'll post something. I don't know what, but I'll post something. And remember, if you've got feedback for me, you can always email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com. That's also the alternate place to answer any questions or comments or submit stuff for the show. If you want to support, whistlekick.com/family is the best place to go. You've also got the code FirstCup15 to save 15% on anything at whistlekick.com. And what else? Oh, the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. One of the things on my list is updating both the Patreon and the Whistlekick family page. There's a bunch of little updates that have to happen today. That's mostly what my day is. I'll start with the big stuff, get the little stuff done later. We do it every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We're on Twitch today, as well as YouTube and Facebook tomorrow. No Twitch, but Twitter. Looking at comments. Stacy gives us a great comment, and on Be Kind to All You Meet today. Love it. Thank you, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Take care and be well.